Most folks spend 3/4 of an hour comparing how much horsepower a car has, and it's 0 to 60 times, only to realize they've been looking at the wrong dashboard every single day for the next 8 years. With the Tesla Model 2 rolling out in 2026 as the company's first sub-$25,000 electric vehicle, EV, its inside space, its interior, could really decide if older drivers actually jump on, bored with electric cars, or simply drift back to their trusty Corollas. But what we should really be thinking about isn't just fancy leather or plain fabric. It's the deeper things, like the geometry of the seat that truly supports your spine after those 3-hour trips. The tiny delay, the touchscreen latency measured in milliseconds, and the noise levels inside the cabin that influence how tired you get and how well you can focus. And that's exactly what we're going to examine here. AutoFusion is about to pass 8,260 subscribers who count on precision, not just empty hype. If you value detailed analysis that respects your intelligence, subscribing puts you right into that group. And honestly, hitting that notification bell is the one and only way to catch these deep dive breakdowns before the algorithms bury them. Let's examine 3 inner car systems, where the Model 2 either successfully closes the gap with established car manufacturers or clearly reveals exactly where cost-cutting shows up in your daily driving experience. How does the single-screen design change the mental effort, the cognitive load, for drivers over 50? Tesla is set to completely strip down the Model 2's dashboard to the absolute essentials, getting rid of the traditional instrument cluster and replacing it with just a single 15-inch central display. That screen size is exactly like the Model 3's and is nearly 5 inches bigger than the main screen in a Honda Civic, while also stretching past the 10.5-inch unit you find in the Toyota Corolla. The clarity is expected to stay near 1920 by 1200 pixels, with a brightness nearing 1000 nits. These numbers make it one of the clearest and easiest to read panels in the compact car category. For older drivers, the benefit is clear. You get bigger fonts, bolder visual displays, graphics, and fewer sub-menus compared with the complicated layered systems often seen in Japanese sedans. Tesla's software has been designed around fast swipe and tap commands, which means common things like setting the navigation or adjusting the audio can be done in 1 or 2 moves instead of having to search through 4 or 5 steps. The software update expected for the Model 2 in 2026 introduces an adaptive interface scaling feature that automatically makes the icon size and font thickness bigger based on how much light is around and the time of day. During night driving, the system makes critical controls 12% larger and boosts the contrast ratios to 15.1. This cuts down the time needed to visually search for functions like the defrost or seat heating. This directly addresses a major complaint from drivers over 55. Small, low-contrast buttons that become nearly impossible to see when driving at dusk. Tesla's research using eye tracking shows this change cuts the average time to complete a task, like adjusting the climate, from 4.2 seconds down to 2.8 seconds, a 33% reduction that directly means more time with your eyes on the road. The response time, latency, and refresh rate are also worth noting. Tesla's system is expected to run at 60 Hz with a touch delay of less than 50 milliseconds. This is faster than the roughly 100 millisecond response time often measured in Toyota and Honda entertainment systems. The amount of storage capacity for the system should be at least 256 gigabytes, allowing for smoother map rendering for navigation and over-the-air updates without the system slowing down. For older drivers, this could mean maps that instantly redraw and voice commands that activate within 1 second. These are features that reduce distraction compared with the slower-loading Japanese systems. Just say, set the temperature to 70 degrees. However, the complete absence of backup, redundancy, is obvious. The Civic's dual-screen layout lets you keep your speed and navigation visible at the same time, while the Model 2 has to rely on split-screen software to balance all those tasks on its single panel. The main issue is what is missing. Toyota still includes a 7-inch digital driver's display along with a traditional analog speedometer, and Honda gives the Civic a 10.2-inch cluster right behind the steering wheel. Those setups allow the driver to quickly check their speed or fuel range with just a quick downward glance, while Tesla forces a sideways look toward the center screen. For someone over 50 who has depended on traditional needle gauges for decades, this change can create a bit of a learning curve. Tesla is betting that a cleaner design and less physical hardware will make the cabin feel modern while also cutting costs. Removing a separate driver's screen could save a few $100s per car, but the trade-off is real. Essential functions like wipers, defrost, and climate settings are all digital only. In contrast, a Corolla or Civic still provides tactile knobs and buttons that you can adjust without having to take your eyes off the road. New data from driver behavior studies shows an unexpected result. After a 3-week getting used to period, drivers over 50 using single-screen Teslas show 11% fewer secondary task errors compared to cars with traditional multiple-screen setups. The reason seems counterintuitive. Putting all information in one single spot creates a single focal point, which gets rid of the decision fatigue of having to choose which screen you need to look at. However, this benefit only appears if the organization of the system, interface hierarchy, is designed correctly. The Model 2's 2026 user interface, UI, is reported to move critical driving data to a persistent header bar that stays visible no matter which app is open, making sure your speed and range never disappear when you're adjusting the air conditioning or the navigation. That leaves a very important question hanging over the Model 2. If every critical piece of information, speed, air conditioning, navigation, is sent into a single panel, does the simplicity truly translate into an easier daily drive? Or will it actually feel like a step backward in how easy it is to use, compared with the more traditional layouts of its Japanese competitors? Given these updates, where do you stand on the single-screen debate? Comment 1 if you prefer one large, clear touchscreen that puts everything together. Comment 2 if you want a separate driver display behind the wheel for your speed and range. Comment 3 if physical buttons for the climate and wipers are absolutely non-negotiable. Drop your number and please explain your reasoning. How is Tesla turning a $25,000 cabin into a design standard, an ergonomic benchmark that surpasses Japan? For older drivers, how comfortable the seat is and how much leg room there is often matters a lot more than the acceleration numbers. The upcoming Tesla Model 2 is expected to heavily borrow from the Model 3's interior dimensions, meaning a seat width in the range of 54 to 56 centimeters and a backrest recline angle between 12 and 15 degrees. Those measurements are right in line with compact sedans like the Toyota Corolla, where seat bases usually measure about 55 centimeters across. The materials will likely be either a woven fabric or Tesla's synthetic leather. This choice helps keep costs down while still aiming for durability and being easy to clean. What is not yet confirmed is whether Tesla will include extra lumbar padding or adjustable thigh support, which are features that make a big difference for drivers over 50 on those really long trips. Tesla's seat development team has reportedly tested new foam density configurations that aim for a 20% improvement in how pressure is spread out compared to current Model 3 seats. Internal testing documents suggest the Model 2 might use dual-density foam, including firmer side supports, bolsters, for holding you in place while turning corners, and softer central areas to reduce pressure points during extended periods of sitting. This method is similar to techniques used in expensive German sedans, but it's achieved at a much lower cost. The key innovation is in using computer modeling, computational modeling, that maps out pressure distribution across a wide range of body types, the 50th to 95th percentile. This lets Tesla perfect the comfort without the expensive trial and error process that usually drives up development budgets. If they get this right, it could fix the most common complaint about Tesla seating. Great for a 30-minute commute, but difficult for those 3-hour interstate drives. In terms of headroom, the Model 2 is expected to be around 970 to 1,000 millimeters in the front, which is about the same as the Corolla's 995 millimeters, but slightly less than the Honda Civic's 998 millimeters. Shoulder room could be another deciding factor. Estimates place the Model 2 at 1,365 to 1,380 millimeters, which is wider than the Corolla's 1,370 millimeters spec. This means 2 adults in the back should have less elbow bumping. The seat height from the floor is also predicted to be 460 to 470 millimeters, which allows older passengers to get in and out more easily compared to the lower 450 millimeter average found in many compact EVs from China. These small but noticeable differences show where Tesla might carve out a practical advantage that goes beyond just the car's looks or the battery technology. This slightly elevated seating position gives a secondary benefit that is rarely talked about in EV reviews: improved visibility, sightlines, over the increasingly tall SUVs and crossovers. With the average vehicle height in the US now over 67 inches, the Model 2's cabin positioning allows drivers to keep a better awareness of traffic patterns 2 to 3 cars ahead. A safety advantage that matters more for aging drivers whose reaction times are naturally slowing down. The 1.5-inch height advantage over Chinese EVs also reduces the hip angle when getting in, decreasing the strain on knee joints by about 18%, based on biomechanical studies of vehicle entry. Rear seat space is directly linked to the car's wheelbase, and here, Tesla seems to be aiming for approximately 2.7 meters, which is almost exactly the same as the Corolla sedan's 2.75 meters. This should result in rear legroom in the 910 to 940 mm range, putting the Model 2 right alongside the Japanese standard. The advantage for Tesla could come from its flat battery floor, which removes the central tunnel and may free up several extra centimeters of foot space in the back. For comparison, the Corolla still has a raised hump that cuts into the comfort of the middle passenger, while the Model 2 is expected to offer a flatter, more open layout. What we still don't know is how Tesla will fine-tune the seat cushioning. Japanese sedans like the Corolla or Honda Civic are famous for using softer foam that holds up well on 185 to 250-mile journeys, while Tesla's current seats have received mixed reviews, firm enough for quick trips, but not always forgiving on long highway drives. That leaves a critical question hanging over the Model 2. Will Tesla finally deliver a compact EV with seating comfort that can rival or even surpass the proven long-distance ease of its Japanese competitors? How do climate systems and acoustic engineering show Tesla's true cost-cutting strategy while still making the customer experience better? Climate control and cabin noise are two areas that directly affect comfort, especially for older buyers who may be more sensitive to temperature changes in road noise than younger drivers. Tesla is expected to give the Model 2 a simplified version of the system found in the Model 3 and Model Y, using hidden air vents that spread airflow evenly throughout the cabin. The cooling power output in current Teslas measures about 5 kilowatts, which is roughly the same as a mid-size home air conditioning unit, and it's reasonable to expect the Model 2 to have a system in the same range. If Tesla includes a PM2.5 filter, as it has on certain versions of the Model 3, the compact EV could gain an advantage in city markets where air quality is a daily worry. Tesla's 2026 heating, ventilation, and air conditioning (HVAC) system is reportedly learning from aviation, offering zone-specific temperature control for each seat while using only 3% more energy. It uses predictive algorithms that take into account the angle of the sun, the tint of the glass, and even the color of the clothing people are wearing. It maintains a steady 68 Fahrenheit comfort band while using 22% less energy than typical EV systems. For older drivers who are sensitive to drafts or uneven heat, this precision finally removes the need for constant manual adjustments. Battery thermal management also plays a role in cabin comfort. Tesla's heat pump system in the Model 3 provides up to 3.5 kilowatt of heating power while consuming about 30% less energy than older resistive heaters. If this is scaled into the Model 2, it could allow the cabin to warm up from 0 to 20 in about 8 to 10 minutes, compared with 12 to 15 minutes in a Corolla hybrid using engine waste heat. Preconditioning the cabin via the Tesla app may cut that time down to under 5 minutes when the car is plugged in, which is a great benefit for older drivers who want consistent comfort without having to wait in the cold or hot weather. So, here's the question I'm leaving you with. Can Tesla's engineering teams, under pressure to meet a $25,000 price point, deliver an interior that doesn't just look different, but actually works better for the drivers who need reliability more than flashy features? Gimmicks? If this breakdown changed how you think about the Model 2, tap the like button. It helps more people find analysis that treats them like adults. Subscribe if you want the next deep dive on the Model 2's battery design and how much its real-world range degrades, and drop a comment with the single feature within the seat, screen, or silence that would make you choose the Model 2 over a Corolla. I read every response, and your insights shape what we cover next.